Hello, it's Motherboard here from Markham 3D, and today we're going to be creating a motherboard stand. So this is for a YouTube channel called Designed by IFR that does custom PC builds. Oh my goodness, this stuff is amazing. And so we're going to be creating him a motherboard stand. So let's jump over into Blender. So as always, let's start off by deleting the default cube and Shift A to add in a plane. So we're going to make this about 100 millimeters wide. As always, one Blender unit is 1 millimeter. So let's scale on the Y axis by 50. And now we've got 100 millimeters. From here, I'm going to do Control R to do an edge loop, left click, and then right click to put that in the center. And let's press V to rip it. I want to select this side, Control L, delete vertices. Let's come over here into the modifiers, add modifier, mirror modifier, and we'll change it from X to Y. Control R to do another edge loop, and we're going to plop it about here. So we've got about 1 centimeter that's going to be holding the motherboard. From here, let's select that edge, E to extrude on the X. Let's just go 9 millimeters. And from here, I want to make this about 100 millimeters high. So we're going to press E to extrude, Z 100. Okay. And from here, I'm going to grab this face. I'm going to extrude by about 5 millimeters. So it's kind of like what we can see here is the motherboard's going to be sitting in there. Let's just move this section back a little bit. So GX10, and we'll go minus. And that just hopefully prevents the motherboard from tippling over. So it's pretty good basis. However, I'm going to be 3D printing this, and that there is going to take a long time, which is not what we want. Let's just start off. Let's get rid of this face, delete faces. I'm going to grab Control R to put in edge loop, and let's go about here. And we will delete this face. Okay. Let's select Alt right click, Shift right click on this area to create a face. And I'm going to select this, E to extrude, and we will make this, how thick should we make it? 5 mil minus. That might be a little bit thick. So let's go GZ2. So now that's 3 millimeters thick. This back plate, let's do some decoration with it. This has been stuffed up here, which is no good. So let's quickly fix that face. And I'm going to add a face here. Let's select here, face. Doesn't want it, that's fine. Let's press face, and we'll select in here a face. So now that's all enclosed there. From here, I'm going to select these two vertices, G, Y, and let's bring it in a bit. So we've kind of got this triangle-ish. It's not called a triangle. It's called a trapezium. I'm going to select this back face, E to extrude on the X axis. How far back should we go? 2 millimeters? Is that not enough? 2 millimeters I think should be fine. So once again, we've got these faces have been destroyed. Select here, F, and we'll select these two, F. Alright, so that's cool. That's what we got. Problem is that's not going to stand up. So we need to make a back stand here. However, I want to be able to detach it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a stand for the stand. Alright. Shift A, add in a mesh. I will add in a cube this time. From here, let's go tab to go into edit mode, GY. Okay. Let's go GX to put that into position. I'm going to select this face and E to extrude, maybe about here to give it really a lot of strength, maybe even further. Let's give it another 20 mil minus. There we go. So how far is that? 20, 40, 60, 80. So about 80 mil. What we're going to do from here is this is going to be a separate piece. So we're just going to kind of model this one up, and then we just print it twice. So just like what we've done here, we've got this little lip. We will do the same here. I will E to extrude on the Z-axis. Let's go 5 mil as well. So what that means is let's bring this down to here-ish. We will make a hole in here. So let's select this, do Control R to put in a loop, Control B to bevel it. And there we go. We've kind of got this gap now. So from here, I'm going to delete these faces, delete faces, and we will redo these faces. Let's go select these two here and go F, and now I can select this edge and go F, 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 there we go, F and F. Why did I do that? That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do, we can now select this edge and click face, this edge and this edge and click face. And what I'm going to do now is to give this a lot of support. I'm going to size on the Y axis. And let's go into top-down view. And we'll plop it about here. Size Y. So that would be a bit of a tight fit. So we would do it like that. Okay. And that means from here, Control R to do in our edge loop. I'm going to bring that back here. Control B to do a bevel. And let's go select that edge loop with, what do I do? Alt right click, G X to bring it back. From here, let's select this face, E to extrude. Okay. I want to select that edge in there, G X, and it's about here. G Z. Whoops, actually, we'll do another edge loop in here just to give that area a bit of support. GZ to bring that back down. And so we kind of got this piece in here. So the weight will push up against this, and because we'll have two of them, I think that should be fine. That should give it enough strength. Even if it's top heavy, it shouldn't topple over now, which is exactly what we want. I think what I might do is let's save a little bit of printing data, and I'm adding some edge loops in here. If we go into wireframe mode, we can see where our support is going to sit. So I'm going to select these two vertices here. GX, or let's go Y. Let's select those two. Actually, we'll select all that. So B to box select all that. GY, about here. Let's now delete this face and delete the back face as well. So now we've got this giant hole. From here, let's select these two faces and go F, select that inside face, and I should be able to just press F, and that auto fills that area. To me, that looks pretty secure. This seems like a big chunky piece, but it's better safe than sorry. So we could even, if we wanted to, I think that's pretty good as it is. How thick is that? That's about 1 centimeter thick, which to me is fine. I'm fairly happy with that. We'll put a 10-20% infill in there. This should be fairly solid and fairly rigid. What else? I'm fairly happy with that. So what we'll do now is let's go Control S and save, and let's export this as our STL. So I'm pretty sure that should fit. I just want to make sure. So that to me seems pretty, it does seem a little bit tight, which scares me a little bit. So maybe what we'll do is let's just grab maybe just this face here, and we will go GX X, move it back a little bit, just so it's got some extra play in there. Because really, that's a 1mm gap, and that is sitting right on it. So it's probably going to be a very snug fit. You know, we got 0.5 mil, if we're lucky, so that's maybe 1mm in there. I think the sizes should be the same. Should be good. So let's now individually save each one of these pieces. So select our back plate. So go File, Export, STL. So let's go motherboard _ back plate. We want to export selected only, because if we don't tick that, it's going to export both. Our scale is 1:1 because we did it 1:1. And Z up, export. Let's select our other one. File, Export, STL, motherboard. We will call this stand. Selected only, and Z up, export. Now let's jump over into Cura. So now that we're in Cura, let's open it up and go to our STLs. And we want our, not Pelican, that's from Modos Pelican. Let's go backplate. It doesn't seem that big. I think it needs to go higher. So these red bits here, that means the normals are facing the wrong way. So Cura is trying to put supports on top of the model, which doesn't exactly work. So from here, I'm going to extend this whole section. So if I go into wireframe mode, so I can select everything, GZ50. So now this is going to be 150 mil top to bottom. And I think that should still be fine. Has this gap now moved? This gap has now moved. So let's come back to our holder and we will move this back in. GX. There we go. All right. So now let's re-export, resave everything. Export STL. Actually, sorry, let's fix the normals. All right, so let's select solid. And if I do Shift N, recalculate normals. So it's done that now. And let's go File, Export, STL. This one is backplate. And select this, File, Export, STL. And this is our stand. Let's flip the normals there as well. Shift N, File, Export, STL, stand. Okay, back over into Cura. Let's select this and delete. Let's come over here. We will import our backplate. And let's rotate this. This is going to get interesting. All right, so I really kind of, I don't want to snap. Now I just got to kind of line it up a little bit. Ugh. This is going to be annoying. All right, so let's go about it the other way. We'll come back into Blender. I'm going to select this, Shift D to duplicate. And let's come into side view and rotate this puppy around. And I'm just going to kind of try and get it as close as possible to being flat. Okay. Oh, actually, let's just do this. So I'm going to go into wireframe mode and select all these. So B to box select, size Z0. Done. File, export, STL. This will be our motherboard backplate. Export, back into Cura, U. Go away. Let's open this up. Motherboard backplate. Bam, perfectly flat. And so you will have some supports in here, which is perfectly fine. Let's go supports. Generate supports. Everywhere. Let's do a raft. I always print with rafts just to make sure. And we can move this over to the side. Let's open up our stand. And let's rotate this by 90 degrees. Turn on snapping. That's 90 degrees. And we can just plop that here-ish. Let's move this one over. And we go, once again, let's open. Stand. Yes. That's fine. Let's rotate. And we'll rotate this on the Z axis. So then that way, when we move it into position, it can sit like here. And down. And now, we've got this. Beautiful. In terms of this, because of the fact that it's nothing to be seen, I am just going to low quality really smash this out. Enable ironing. We don't need ironing. We don't need it to be cleaned up. Infill density 20%. I'm happy with that. Gives it a little bit more strength. Generate supports. We need supports because we're printing overhangs up here. And slice. Let's see how long it's going to take. 2 hours 34. Beautiful. Let's get that printing, and we'll go from there. And there we have it. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. It keeps you up to date with my content and really helps me out.